Right, hello internet. Well, I've got a kettle on there. Yes, I've got a kettle, it's great. I'm so stoked with this, I bought a singing kettle. Pretty much mostly finished on construction now, so I thought we'd shoot another video. The big one was condensation. That was the big new thing we had to deal with. So first few nights sleeping in here, this plastic window, actually, which is very dirty now, it got dust on it from the new brazier, which is out there. Oh, and we've got a new bit of terrace as well, kind of a front step thing going on below our decks. It's a bit of groundworks I've done. It's a bit messy out there at the moment because I've been out there having beers with the boys the last couple of nights. But yeah, got a lot of dust when we're moving wood around in big piles and stuff. I put some bark chip down on the rose bushes out front and a few other bits and pieces. So the side of the house needs a good spray down. Anyway, yeah, the condensation issue, yeah. So first night I was in here, got up next morning, it's been really cold. It's the middle of winter here, so at night we're regularly going down to sort of -2, -3, -4 in Celsius. For those of you in other countries who use stupid imperial measurements still. So yeah, it's cold. Yes, we got major condensation. I have also found that my usual candle heat process is insufficient for a structure of this size. Obviously you have to be down at that 2 cubic meter volume like my old build was before you're able to really work effectively with candles as heat. So I'm using my gas cooker, which is a little more dangerous, it's a lot more powerful, and obviously you do have that worry about gassing yourself due to carbon monoxide poisoning, falling asleep with oil on or anything like that. So there's a few procedures I've got in place just to ensure we don't have any problems with doing that. I found the passive venting was not enough to get us around condensating, just to keep it a comfortable temperature in here and not too humid and things like that. So we have our intake vents down there on the window. Up there, yeah, you can see the louvered vents. So the louvered vents have now been propped open permanently. Because yeah, they weren't opening by themselves properly, and I bought these little electrical fans that yeah, they've got their own little battery on board and speed adjust. They're quite quiet, and they even have little LED on them. Pointlessly, so they will run overnight quite effectively. I've built a little clip up on the louvers, so I turn one on, put it on about medium, pop it on while I go to sleep. After I've heated up the space with the gas cooker, that takes about a minute, while I'm usually having a coffee or a drink before I go to bed. And then yeah, we just pop them on, and then about 6 hours or so later I tend to wake up quite early in the morning and find that we've got the fans running out of batteries and we've got a little bit of condensate on the windows. So then I change the fans over, and then I wake up again later on and I find that the combination of morning sun and that fan being on has vaporized off the condensation without leaving any mold or residue or issues behind. So I no longer have to get up and manually wipe condensation off my windows, which was my fallback. I've got a towel down there for doing that. That was my fallback, but I was hoping to actually create a mechanical system that sort of pretty much does it all for me, and all I have to do is turn fans on and off and things, and gas heat and whatnot. So glad that that's all worked out. Obviously down here we have also done the painting, and we've moved in, so I'll just see if I can duck out the door without knocking the gas cooker over. This should be fun. Oh, a bit of a squeeze. There we go. So now you can sort of see in there, hopefully. Yeah, that's visible. So I've got it sort of set up the way I have it set up usually during the day, with my bed, such as it is, rolled up. That's actually an old military bivvy sack, which I've filled with pillows. That was the cheapest way to create a nice insulating mattress. I've got a blanket here, and I've got a sleeping bag that I sleep with, and then obviously we have a standard inflatable camp gear mattress. It's about yay thick, so a combination between that and this thing rolled out makes a real comfy bed. And then obviously I roll it up during the day and turn it into my sort of super tactical looking beanbag there, basically. Tactical beanbag, awesome. I just made that up. And then yeah, down the back here we've got our storage, primary storage. So we've got a little hook thing set up there that allows me to hang my clothes. This A-frame's high enough to do that. Boots sit in there on some tarps and crap. Later today I'm going to neaten up all this wiring, shove that all into the corner there and get that all sorted out as well, and then just mount this doodad to the wall with the USBs so that that's all neated up and sorted out. Top tub there's got smaller tools, electronics, art gear, painting, glue, that kind of thing, stuff for building drones and whatnot, and there's my drone gear sitting on top. The tub underneath it, which is the same size, has my work pants and like really grubby gear and big tools and spare camping kit, you know, spare gas cook tanks and, you know, shit like that. That's just way out the back that you don't need to open much often. Up top here, I've got my tramping pack. It's also got all my clothes and toiletries in various places and pouches through it. It just basically works like having a set of drawers, except it's a pack. And I'm just sort of used to working with that, so I've got that. And then on top, my art board. Got a frame there for a piece that I'm working on at the moment. I've got a frame up. Art board and my art gear sits up on top. So I may actually make some proper shelves to fit into that space and stuff and neaten all that up at some point. But for now, that'll do. Just get everything stacked while we're sort of working it all out. And then down the front here, we've got another little box, which is on wheels. Bowls, and that's got food and cutlery and gas cooker and stuff sits on top of it when it's not in use. But it looks like that's going to probably start boiling quite soon. I think I've pretty much covered everything. Condensation was a problem, but we fixed it with a combination of heat and ventilation. Science! Solar system's working fine, but that has been for years. Oh, and yeah, obviously, so we didn't paint this section here. We left it white for now. As a reflector, that is quite neat for having just sort of a well-lit art space. Down the back there, I don't mind that as a storage area, an area where my head goes when I sleep, when I'm lying back like so, out of the sun, observing my view, which is the neighbours, but oh well. But then I can sit up here in the light, especially in the mornings and later evenings. At the moment it's late evening, so the sun's piling in from over the hill there, because it's about to go down in about an hour. But yeah, I get all day sun. It's a comfortable place to sit and work and make our cups of coffee. So yeah, she's all gravy. I'll start working more on outdoor lower terrace area down there where it's grass at the moment, the garden off to the left there, a few other bits and pieces at another date. I think you might have noticed while we're coming back through the door before, but I've installed my gargoyles. That's Bob, that's Clarence. I don't know why he's called Clarence, but he is. There's Bob. Hey Bob. So yeah, quite a nice wee spot we've got here actually. Pretty stoked. Given a month ago, the house or little box I was living in got destroyed, and I was all very upset about it about a month or just over a month ago, and now we get to live in this totally cool place. So it was shit that happened, but I'm glad that this is the result we've managed to get out of it. You know, never let life kick you in the guts too hard, and don't sort of get back up and go fuck you life and do stuff and fix things anyway. Thanks to everyone who's given me hands with funds and materials and stuff to do this so far. It wasn't completely a me only effort. There was a few generous donations along the way that helped me get it done faster and easier, so I really appreciate that, people. And yeah, anyway, that joke is in fact starting to boil, so I'm gonna turn this video off, make myself a coffee, and then get into doing some artwork in my cool new house. Yay!